Okay, let's dive straight in. There's a silent protocol running right now that is fundamentally altering your network's security posture. Today, we're doing a deep dive explainer on the threat that keeps network admins up at night, the unmanaged, hidden deployment of IPv6. If you're out there trying to lock down your digital perimeter, you need to pay close attention because we're going to explore the critical vulnerabilities, the misconfigurations, and most importantly, your definitive first hop security guide, the FHS guide, to lock it all down.
So, let's start with a crucial question, and it's one that usually shatters a pretty common illusion. Is IPv6 running on your network right now? A lot of people think, hey, if I haven't officially deployed it, I don't have to defend it. It's a comforting thought, right? You focus all your firewalls, your intrusion detection systems, your monitoring on IPv4, assuming that's the only language your network is speaking. But assuming IPv6 is just dormant, that is a massive, potentially catastrophic blind spot.
The reality is, nearly every modern operating system on your network has this turned on by default. We're talking Windows, macOS, Linux, iOS, Android, they're all chattering away in IPv6 right now. That means you don't just have one attack surface to defend, you actually have two. It's a parallel, unmonitored attack surface. And since your traditional IPv4 defenses don't just magically translate to protect IPv6 traffic, you could easily have devices communicating locally or even externally, entirely under your radar.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The silent IPv6 threat. 2. Why IPv6 increases risk. 3. Auto-configuration leaks. 4. Hidden attack surfaces. 5. The FHS guide for admins. And finally, a 3-step action plan. Section 1. The silent IPv6 threat. Let's see why this unseen protocol demands your attention.
It's kind of a paradox of early adoption. The absolute highest risks actually surface in networks where the IPv6 administrator maturity is the lowest. Early-phase deployments are highly vulnerable, not usually because of a fundamental flaw in the protocol itself, but simply due to a lack of experience. Networks just lack mature IPv6 configurations and the right security tooling.
Section 2. Why IPv6 increases risk.
To understand that risk, we really have to unpack the architectural differences that completely break your traditional IPv4 defense assumptions. Unlike IPv4, IPv6 lacks NAT, network address translation, by design. In IPv4, NAT hides your internal network topology behind a single public IP, right? Well, in IPv6, every single device gets a globally routable address. That means direct internet exposure is the default state. There's no NAT acting as a pseudo-firewall to obscure your internal devices from the outside world.
Plus, you have mandatory protocols like ICMPv6 and complex extension headers that hand attackers brand new ways to bypass your perimeter. In IPv4, you might just block ICMP at the firewall. If you do that in IPv6, you literally break core functions like neighbor discovery. Attackers also use flexible chains of extension headers to completely evade your inspection tools. Oh, and the shift from broadcast to multicast? That introduces entirely new vectors for network reconnaissance and denial of service attacks.
Section 3. Auto-configuration and identity leaks.
Let's talk about SLAAC, Stateless Address Auto-Configuration. This is how devices get these exposed addresses in the first place, and it creates massive privacy holes. SLAAC lets a host self-configure an IP without needing a DHCP server. But when it uses what's called EUI64 mode, it literally stamps the device's hardware MAC address right into the IP. Anyone tracking that IP can identify the vendor, the specific network card, and track that physical hardware as it moves across different networks. It's wild.
And because SLAAC implicitly trusts router advertisements by default, an attacker can effortlessly execute a 3-phase man-in-the-middle attack. The base protocol requires zero authentication. An attacker just sits on the link, sends out a forged router advertisement, the target host blindly trusts it, updates its gateway, and boom, it's directing all of its traffic straight to the attacker. From there, they can intercept, modify, or just drop your subnet's traffic entirely.
Now, if you understand rogue DHCP servers and IPv4, you already get this threat. Clients do not authenticate DHCPv6 responses, making them immediate targets for poison configurations. In IPv4, we solve this with DHCP snooping. In IPv6, the equivalent defense is DHCPv6 Shield. But here's the terrifying part. DHCPv6 Shield is way less commonly deployed. Without it, your clients just accept the very first valid configuration reply they get, leaving them wide open.
Section 4. Hidden Attack Surfaces.
Beyond auto-configuration, attackers use some really sneaky, lesser-known avenues to bypass firewalls. First, they use tiny, fragmented packets to literally blind your access control lists by hiding TCP or UDP headers from stateless firewalls. Second, legacy tunneling protocols like Teredo or iSATUP are used to punch IPv6 traffic right through your IPv4 NAT. And finally, keep an eye on your cloud environments. Containers often spin up with link local IPv6 enabled, communicating silently right behind your back. Add in the fact that kernel implementation bugs are a recurring nightmare here. The sheer complexity of IPv6 extension headers and tunneling is just fertile ground for memory safety issues. Take this critical Linux kernel flaw, CVE 2024-386012. It's a CVSS 9.8. It can lead to severe use after freeze scenarios or null pointer dereferences. It really is a stark reminder that the software stack handling this protocol is still maturing.
Section 5. The FHS Guide for Admins. This is where we solve the problem.
But before you touch a single switch, listen to this urgent NSA intelligence. Training has to be a prerequisite, not an afterthought. You can't secure what you don't understand. The NSA explicitly recommends that all network and security staff get proper, dedicated IPv6 training, because trying to apply old IPv4 logic to an IPv6 network is exactly how these massive gaps get created in the first place.
All right, here is your first top security arsenal, the absolute core of the FHS guide. You must deploy this on every single managed switch. RA Guard blocks those forged router advertisements we talked about. DHCPv6 Shield stops rogue servers from poisoning configs. ND Inspection validates neighbor discovery messages against the known binding table. And SourceGuard ensures hosts only send traffic from their legitimately assigned addresses. If you leave even one switch unprotected, you completely undermine your entire local link security.
Section 6. Your 3-step action plan. Let's make this actionable.
Here is your tactical blueprint to lock things down today. Follow these 3 exact steps. 1. Discover. Aggressively discover hidden IPv6 assets. Just assume it's already running and audit everything. 2. Harden. Apply first-hop security on all managed switches. Deploy RA Guard, DHCPv6 Shield, and disable unused tunneling protocols. And 3. Filter. Build out your IPv6 access control list at the perimeter to match your IPv4 parity, block bogon prefixes, and drop those fragmented ICMPv6 packets at the edge.
So, we know the silent threat is already inside your perimeter, speaking a language your firewalls might just be ignoring. It's time to bring your network security into complete alignment. The only question left for you is, are you truly ready to monitor and defend both of your attack surfaces? And how fast will you implement these defenses?